sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. Welcome and hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Andrew David. This is Blake Newbar's partner program, the High Performance Call. So, as I was just saying, we were going to be talking about advertising and stuff today. I have had a couple of calls recently that would make it nearly impossible for me to focus on the details that would be necessary in order to give you guys the value that you need with those topics. Now, a lot of you guys know I'm not an employee of Blake's. I contract with him. He and I have partnered up. This is one of the things that I do. I've got my own digital agency. I work as a consultant with businesses and with other marketers and different programs talking about how they can build things up. And occasionally as they launch things, then I'll hop on some calls and kind of feel things out. I consult with businesses that are referred to me that want to create a program for themselves. They've got something and they're wanting to develop their message and get it out. And how do I do that? And how do I turn it into something that I can monetize, and on and on and on. Now, I recognize that you guys here, you've already invested, and some of you invested even more. Some of you invested multiple times in multiple businesses, and you're here and you're looking to get over the hump. But this is just kind of a shining example. There's two different things that I want to kind of touch on. Number one, please understand that your relationship with business and with money, and not just how much you can make. I'm not talking about success. And in talking here, and when I was sharing yesterday, some of the businesses that I've had and successes and failures, money that I've made, money I've lost, wasn't to create the expectation that, hey, you're going to go do this. It was to help you understand that you've got to become more comfortable with the overall process of business. And part of the process of business is becoming comfortable with talking about, dealing with, accepting in a pleasant manner, having a good positive relationship with finance, with money, because a lot of us have grown up without that. It's a negative thing for many people. Our parents didn't have it, depending on when we grew up and who our parents were, where we went to school and everything else. A lot of us have a really crappy relationship when it comes to money. I had a conversation with someone and they're not a part of this program in any way. They haven't invested here, and I can guarantee after this conversation that they will never invest in anything like this. So I'm not concerned with any, them seeing anything that I'm talking about or them being a part of this. So you guys will never know who this person is. But during the conversation, we started talking about if they wanted to create a program that they could sell that would allow them to reach a broader audience to then make a little bit of money. Their biggest concern wasn't that. They wanted to get their message out, and I can applaud that. I work with some nonprofits that aren't about making money, and that's great. And if that's yeah, exactly, no blowback. You're not going to have to worry about hopping on a call and being like, oh, that's the dude Andrew was talking about. It's not going to happen. Anyway, we were talking, and then we started to talk about the investments and what it would take. And so you guys know, now, you guys have with the partner program, you have something that is a lot of it's done. You're doing some customization, and I know there's work involved there, and some of you have invested a little more to get that done. But imagine what Blake has invested to get it done from scratch, right? All of the software, put it all in. All of the videos, putting it all in. Not just in ClickFunnels, but inside of Kajabi. All of the training, all of the, everything. And then putting the whole platform together. This guy wanted to create something similar, okay? All of the courses, the videos, the training. Now, his purpose was to do something slightly different than what Blake is. I don't want to give away too much information, but he wanted to do something like that. Fifth Amendment. But when I started talking about I wasn't even talking about big money. Imagine how much it would cost to do that, what Blake's put together. We're not talking $5,000. We're not talking 10. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? A lot of people and a hell of a lot of hours. We started talking about the most basic thing that this guy could maybe do. And we were talking in a 3 to 5K range. To learn how to do it, I'm like, you're going to probably want to buy a course. You want to learn how to do this. You're going to need to sign up for this. You need to do this. And the switch got flipped. and he went into attack mode, and it turned into me being, and this, like, it sometimes it just boggles my mind that people think like this, but I'm the equivalent of a modern day slave trader, a human trafficker, and domestic abuser, because I'm trying to tell him that he needs to invest money if he wants to build his business, and why shouldn't I give it to him for free, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously super extreme, right? But the most extreme, like, it's just, I'm going, no, and I'm trying to just kind of de-escalate the situation and talk through, and hey man, if you don't like, if it's not for you, that's okay. Like, it's not for everybody. Building a business online isn't for everybody doing, but no. Rick, appreciate you. I will be on talking about advertising tomorrow, so thank you. Yeah, his mindset, CJ is never going to get there, because he's not in a place of, man, I'm not comfortable with that right now, but what would you do? How would you do it? Where would you go? How could things play out, right? Like, you've got to first recognize that maybe your relationship with money, success, happiness, collaboration, any of these things, right? Recognize where you are and where improvement is needed. Absolutely, Forrest. It takes money to make money. It takes time to get time, right? Like, we spend money in order to create something. You want the time freedom in order to have location freedom, relationship freedom, right? Freedom for whatever it is. But he is holding on to something that is so limiting, he's never going to get over that. Now, extreme examples are given in stories to help create a point in a conversation. And this is where you guys get to identify, okay, that's, first off, I hope everybody says, well, that's not me. But what piece, what element, what percentage of what they're saying is reflected in who I am and how I act in my relationship with money, in my relationship with my business, in my relationship with others? Where am I limited? Okay. It plays a bigger role in your long-term success than you think. Okay. And this individual can go out and they're building on TikTok. Apparently they're gathering a following. They've got a handful of videos with over 1 million views. Like, things could grow. I can guarantee they're never going to generate any significant income with that until they get over some of the hurdles they have. Because part of that is the understanding that I've got to create a message that's viable for my audience, right? He's struggling. He said in what he was talking about, well, I kind of, there's not that clarity. I know I kind of go back and forth with different things. It seems like I'm kind of vacillating from one to the other. Well, his message isn't clear. Well, how do you get clear on your message? You study, or you buy somebody training to do that. Potato's talking about Jim Rohn. Tony went to Jim Rohn, right? All of these guys, and Tony was one of the names that got brought up. What do you think they're paying to go? And I said, if you think that $1,000, $3,000 is expensive for training, and then there's a higher level, I was like, you could go get a mentor and pay this or do that. And he said, well, I would never pay that much. I mean, Tony's trains for free. I said, Tony does a lot of stuff for free, but if you think his high level mastermind and access to him doesn't cost 6 figures, you're out of your mind. Well, but look, guys, there's a lot that's possible in this world, but some of the biggest things that you've got to do is improve yourself. That said, the relationship that you have with your client in this and in whatever else that you're doing is essential. It's important. You've got to take care of that relationship. The way that you do that is in how you communicate and what you give, and a level of transparency. When Steve Sims was on here a year ago, he doesn't like that word authentic. Be transparent, be real. Here it is. Here's what, what's going on. Here's why I'm trying to help you. Here's what I think is possible. That's why we talk about with the niche, pick something that you think you can resonate with. Pick something that you can connect with the audience a little bit. It's going to help you with them. But work on you is one of the biggest things that I can I can say. So when I talk about mindset and skill set, there's a reason that mindset is important. I just happen to come across like the biggest shining example of the shittiest mindset I've dealt with in a long time, and it was bonkers. Like I had to keep at the end when he was getting even more aggressive. I just kept having to keep saying, look, this may not be for you, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and end the call because it seems like I'm just not in the mood to be attacked. And he just kept going and going and going. And finally I ended the call. He's in the middle of some sentence and I had to get up and walk around and do some push-ups and just kind of breathe. And my very first thought was you guys. And I went, there's no way in hell I'm talking about Facebook Business Manager after that call, because there's no way I'm going to be able to talk about pixels and figuring out your demographic and your target audience, because hell no. Guys, work on you, work on your brain. Yes, you're going to suck the first time that you do it. We bring a whole hell of a lot of suck to any new project when we're starting. And so you've got to be able to release that stuff. You got to work on it. So if you need to get your mind right when it comes to money, okay, because it started off with this guy's relationship with finances and success. Think and Grow Rich, an amazing book. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, awesome. Wallace D. Wattles and his books, super cheap. You can get them just about anywhere. Any of those are great, but a big part of this is recognizing, okay, how did I grow up? How did my parents talk about money? How did I grow up in thinking about money? You know, there were times when, you know, when I was doing cleaning and restoration where I would feel guilty if I went and spent money at the Taco Bell dollar menu because I was eating at fast food instead of getting canned tuna and canned corn for my meals because, oh my gosh, I'm spending money. Don't be that, right? Like recognize where those problems are, figure out what you need to do to shift and start working on it, and recognize it will take time. Every single day, part of my affirmations, part of my goals when I write out deals with my relationship with money. Absolutely, because I'm still working on it and I want it to continue to increase. It's made a huge difference. The time that I put in there when I talk and think about money, like I can recognize when I'm acting in the way I shouldn't. You guys can do the same thing. So anyway, I don't know if that was even fully coherent as I talked through. I think there were a handful of sentences that may have been, but recognize what you need to work on, figure out where you can use some help, and then start to put that in place, ladies and gentlemen. With that said, tomorrow we are going into advertising. We're talking about ads manager. I promise I will make it worth your while. I appreciate everybody's patience with the wait. If you haven't read them yet, pick up Secrets of the Millionaire Mind or Think and Grow Rich. They're both fantastic books. I feel like Think and Grow Rich was written in the early 20th century by Napoleon Hill, and written in a way that, I mean, it's not high level education, but it's a higher level of reading than, say, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, because most modern day training, most modern day books are written at, you know, we've talked about it, it's that 8th to 11th grade level, because that's what people resonate with. I like Think and Grow Rich more than I like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. That's me personally. And then to touch on David's talking about the failure of our educational system to inform students about finances. Absolutely. Here's something fun. You know, if you want to talk averages, you want to talk the educational system. Let's say college right now, average college university around the country, somewhere in the neighborhood of $25,000 a year, ballpark. I know some are much, much more, some are a little bit less. I get that. College, to me, the American education system is the largest sales funnel I've ever seen. Okay. You start with free high school, free school for 12 years, and then you get to go to community college. And community college is, for the most part, fairly, you know, that's your, you know, you've tripped over your lead magnet. This is your first order bump, is community college, right? This is, it's either free because you're able to get, you know, some scholarships, or it's fairly inexpensive comparatively. It's much, much more than it was years ago. But, you know, when you look at how much the cost of education has increased versus what actual income has increased, it's something like 500 to 1 increase or something. It's bonkers. But community college, pretty much anyone can go. You get done with community college where they say you should come to a university, and now it's going to be $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year. When you get done with university, when you get done with your college degree, and now you're in debt, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. Now your annual income
is somewhere around $62,000 for an average college graduate. So you get in debt well over $100,000 to make 60 something. So for the average adult, here's something to kind of think about. The average adult's income here in the United States, and I realize we got some people from around the world. Average adult here in the U.S. makes somewhere in the neighborhood of $40,000 to $45,000. Okay, that's the average. So if you want to go to college and get a 4-year degree, spend 30 hours a week, ballpark, studying and in classes over the course of the next few years, and go to college, spend $100,000 plus to go get a new degree, your income will raise about 20%, 20 to 30%. Your income will go up to anywhere between $50,000 to $60,000. And so now, without interest, with zero interest, if you don't change your lifestyle in any way, because that's the key. If I change my lifestyle because I start making more and then my life costs me more, then this isn't going to work. But if I don't change my lifestyle at all, then it's going to take me anywhere between 5 to 10 years plus to pay off the college that I went to for 3 years in order to make a little bit more. If my lifestyle increases, then what? 20, 30 years to pay off your new college loans. So when people talk about investing in themselves with what we can call a secondary mini advanced type of education and personal growth and development, business opportunities, mentorship, training, and things like that. When people go, I just don't know if it's worth it. Well, that's your alternative. If you ever doubt if your investment in yourself and personal growth is worth it, look at the other options, or decide that you're going to stay where you are, because staying where you are is the most expensive decision that you can ever make in this life. So recognize that and put yourself to work. So on that note, appreciate you guys. Love you. We will talk tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.